So let's just dive into this. And if you appreciate all of you, yeah, tapping the screen, I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that, Coco. I see you doing showing all the love. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Keep it up. So personal finance 101. Today I want to talk, share a little bit on this. And I want to say that when it comes to our personal finance, by the way, sorry if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Silvaline. All right, I mean, since this is like my official first video that I'm actually going to be sharing something, just do a little quick introduction. My name is Silvaline. I am a mom of 3 beautiful kiddos. I'm a wife. I like to say I'm a very happy wife of about just hitting 10 years. Yes, I just want to put that out there. Yes, and mom to 3 beautiful kiddos. Someone with an accounting background, okay? Accountant by profession, even though I currently am an entrepreneur myself. So, but I have worked, I am originally from Cameroon, but I live in the United States for the past 12 years. Madison, Wisconsin, precisely. All right, so any Madison in the house, if you are connecting, I'd like to know where you're connecting from. Okay, drop me your city or your country. That would be amazing. And I am coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin, United States. Thank you for all the love. I'm an accountant, by profession, but currently in the last few years, specifically, precisely from 2020, I have been an entrepreneur in the digital, or call it the online space. All right. So I love to just bring some value out there to serve my tribe, as I like to call it. Okay. So personal finance, everything finance, because that's my background. Like I already said, right? Everything finance, business, like, count me in, right? Count me in. So I have been building on Facebook for a while before finally hopping on this platform. Lately. And so I thought here I would just focus my content here to be personal finance, like to just, share the little bit that I've got to just help somebody out there. Because my mentors always tell me, like, even if you just feel like you are a step or a couple steps ahead of somebody, you can always hold somebody else's hand that is even just one step behind you. So I strongly believe in that. So I always try to, provide a lot of value as much as I possibly can. So let's talk about personal finance 101. When it comes to you say, thank you, I love to learn and grow. Oh, Coco, I just love your energy. I love your spirit, Coco. Yeah, let's grab a seat and and let's ride on. Okay, thank you for all the love. I see you liking the video. I appreciate that. Yeah, as you give out love to the universe, that's how you receive. Like, you receive multiple fold. You never can understand where the direction from which you're gonna receive, but as you just keep pouring out that love out there to the universe, God sees it. So there's no way you're not gonna repeat back. Personal finance 101. When it comes to our personal finance, it's important that we identify what the issue is when it comes to our personal finance. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Because if we are having issues with our personal finance, with our finances, there are only 2 problems. Oh, what is making that sound? I'm not sure, but yeah. There are only 2 problems that could possibly, that surrounds our finance, our personal finance. It's either number 1 is an income problem. Number 2, a spending problem. So it's very crucial. It's important that you understand, like, you identify what is the problem. Which one of those do you have? Is it an income problem that you have? Like, meaning it's just not enough? Or is it a spending problem? Because it's either one or the other or both, right? Yeah, or both. Very possible. So as you're watching this, if you get what I'm saying, I'd like to know if you're if you're with me here. Do you think when it comes to your personal finance, do you have an income problem or you have a spending problem or both? You feel like it's just not enough, and so that's an income problem, or you feel like you gotta be honest, like look yourself in the mirror and be honest to yourself, like is it a spending problem? Because you are, thank you see, it's an income problem. I appreciate that honesty there, like that openness. Yeah, because the thing is, if it's a spending problem, and nothing wrong with, but it's just with either way that you may find yourself, but it's important that you identify it first, because if you don't identify a problem, you can't even begin to solve it, right? You have to be able to identify, like, whatever problem you have in life. You have to, first of all, the first step in solving it is identifying what you're going through, acknowledging it, before you can go ahead to, even start addressing that issue. Cyrus, I see you. Thank you for joining. Andrew, I see you. Sylvia Thomas, I see you. I appreciate you sharing the live. Blessings to you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Yes, I was saying that it's important that you identify where you belong. I'm talking about, personal finance here. Talking about, there are two major problems you can possibly have when it comes to your personal finance. It's either you have an income problem. Okay, number one, an income problem, meaning your income is just like, you feel like it's just not, like, one-on-one is not just adding, like it's not just enough to make ends meet, right? Or it's a spending. The other possibility is either it's an income problem or it's a spending problem, and it's crucial that you identify where you belong. And it's possible it could be both. You could both an income problem and spending problem. Because the reason why you really want to identify this, you cannot solve a spending problem by just having more income. Let's just get that real straight. Like, believe it or not, okay? Like, even if you're a billionaire, if you have no control over your spending, like you're not intentional with, it's the reason why millionaires still live. You'll be surprised, you'll be shocked. Why some millionaires they are still barely breaking even, okay? Either they are still in the negative or they are breaking even, and you will be like, what? Because you can't just say you're going to solve your spending problem by just, having more income. So you got to get, like, really know where the problem is and really focus on solving that problem. Solving that, like, identify and really addressing that problem. And a lot of it has to do with the mindset. Okay, right? It has to do with, like, really shifting your mindset or your relationship. I like to say, like, try to fix or develop a better relationship with money. Because a lot of us, our issue when it comes to our finances is with our relationship with money. Like, just has there was a lot we could do to make it better. And that is the reason why we struggle. And if you struggle with your relationship with money like that, it doesn't matter how much money they just, put in your hands, in your pocket, you're still gonna struggle if you don't, you're not intentional with how you spend. If your problem is really a spending problem and you're not addressing that, I'm telling you, like, you're just gonna be working for all those vendors out there. And you don't want that, right? You don't want that. I'm telling you, like, you do a lot. You work real hard to earn the money that you earn. It's important that you are intentional with it. Okay? It's important that you're intentional with it. Because the way I like to look at it these days, like, when it comes to your spending, is if you're always thinking, like, okay, how long did it take me? How many hours did it take me to earn this money that I'm going to spend on buying this Gucci bag? Like, break that down. If it's a $2,000, okay, break that down. Maybe you earn $20, 20, an hour. How many hours is that? You're gonna be like, okay, like, is it worth it for me to spend this many hours of my work to buy this one item? And it may make sense for you, like, oh yeah, it's okay, I deserve this. Good, great, right? But at least be intentional. Like, at least have those numbers kind of run through your head and it make you really, do that intentionally, instead of just that kind of emotional, you know, spending, or just like you're bored and, you know, you have to buy it because you're bored. And so, and I'm really gonna dive into this a little, you know, a little deeper here. So first of all, let's just step back a little bit. If it's an income problem you have, right, we all know that there's a lot of things you can do. There are a gazillion amount of things you can do to fix an income problem. And I know it's not always gonna be a quick fix, because that's where a lot of us get stuck, because we're just looking for that quick, like, okay, the income problem is somebody just, can you just quickly just increase my salary? And for, you know, a lot of cases, that's not how it works, right? Or maybe you're grabbing a second job or another or third job, right? You still have to go through a process. When I first moved to this country, I was surprised how, you know, coming from Cameroon, I was surprised the processes like you have to go through to land a good job. I'm not talking about the ones that are out there all over and people are just, I'm talking a good job, a great job, right? It's a process. You gotta look them up and find the one that, you know, kind of resonates with you. You have to put together the application. You have to, you know, and if you are selected, you have to go through the interview process. A lot of times, multiple interviews, right? And guess what? It takes even some skill set to know how to show up for those interviews. Like, everything is a process. Anything that is good that you're gonna receive doesn't just, you know, lands on your lap like that. You don't just receive it on a platter of gold. You have to, you know that it's a process. You're gonna put in some effort and be okay with that. Oh my gosh, what? You should get a tattoo of a candle on your back. So I don't know if that's I hope you're a very person, but yeah, that sounds interesting. So that I can blow it out. Okay. So, yeah, I'm saying, like, even just if your problem is an income problem, it's a journey. You're gonna, whether you're trying to get a second job, you know, to boost that income up, or you're trying to negotiate a salary increase. When it comes to negotiating a salary increase, you have to, you know, it has to make sense to your boss, right? It has to make sense. So that's where I always talk about this too. Like, try to add more value to yourself when they know that you have this additional skill set that you can deliver, like you can bring to the table when it comes to like negotiating. Then it's, you know, it's gonna be a no-brainer for them to consider giving you that pay increase. But if at whatever level that you're at, your position at work, and you have no additional value beside the same monotonous things. Oh, I didn't realize pardon me, that my window was open. I don't need to be getting that much noise from outside. Sorry. Yeah, like if you are still like you just do the basics, same old things day in, day out, it's gonna be hard for them to offer you that pay increase. But one thing you can do is to go, you know, above that and learn some additional skills that are related to your task that you do at work, you know, so that you can show that at your workplace that you can do these additional things. I shared something in a video, in one of my TikTok posts a little while ago, and I was sharing this very related example, you know, with what I'm talking about here. How when I'm just sharing this as a great example that fits in here, right? I'm talking about how you can learn some additional, it doesn't have to be too much of, you know, like it doesn't have to be like a lot, but you can teach yourself something, even just out there, learn it out there. Go to YouTube University, as I like to call it. Go learn a skill that you can show, you know, to your boss or so, that you can do these additional things, and they see that is something that can actually, you know, help them where you work. And when you are negotiating a pay increase, I mean, like, it makes sense for them, right? Instead of hiring somebody to do that extra task, that additional task, and they have to train that person from square one, if you can, do that additional task, like in addition to what you normally do on the daily, then it's gonna make sense for them to offer you that pay increase, and boom, you've just increased your income by by so much, right? But you cannot just carry your empty hands and say and go negotiate a pay increase and it works. It's hardly gonna happen like that. So you see that it has to do with effort. Like, regardless of which direction, you have to put in the work that is needed, put in the effort. And I was about to share how, when I used to do my regular accounting work, and just for perspective, like, my regular work usually entails, it was quite a variety of different things, and I did really love my job that I did for a few years before I stopped 2020 because I had a baby, our third baby, and since then I began my entrepreneurial journey. So but my usual day-to-day there usually entails like bi-weekly payroll. I'm doing that. I'm processing payables. I'm responsible for payables, like paying the bills, receivables, some human resource data processing, like terminations and stuff like that, processing the data and all of that good stuff, right? And weekly payrolls, and actually and reconciliations, like bank reconciliations, right? So those are like typically what my day to day. But now, even though in the course of doing those my day to day, I usually work with a few different spreadsheets, right? But our supervisor, actually, she is our CEO, there, the CEO there. She noticed that when it comes to, just working with Excel sheets, like, I was really good at it, right? So every time, and she's an elderly lady. So she usually, she noticed that, because I don't know, she probably just noticed maybe from the work that she sees behind the scene, like, you know, in the department, in the course of me doing my work and stuff. So she noticed that she could really use, my help when it comes to that area. So every time she receives an Excel sheet and, like this broad workbooks with a bunch of different sheets and a lot of, formulas and functions and all of that good stuff, pivot tables and all of that, she started calling for me, like, oh, Silvaline, can you help me with it? Can you look at this and just kind of interpret this data for me? And I will help her. I will do it. Like, those are just additional things that it wasn't part of my duty, but because she knew that, I was resourceful in that area. So she started calling for my help. And she started calling for it many times. Like, whenever she gets that, she doesn't want to deal with it, she just calls for me too. Or she just kind of send the sheet over for me to do some work on it. Guess what? I'm telling you, when they were, every year when they're making that pay increase, do you think I'm going to be one of those that she's going to really consider to, like, I didn't even have to go negotiate. I didn't have to go negotiate, be like, oh yeah, please add me on. Because it's not everybody that they make those, give those pay increases every year, even though they usually do when, if the numbers for the companies are making sense, right? If everything is right in terms of the financials, they're gonna give out some pay increases. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes some of us, you may not even need to go learn the skill set. Like, you already have some value, some additional value that you can provide. But because you have not showed it out there, like, you haven't displayed it that you can do this, so nobody really knows that you can do that. So sometimes it might just be you actually, like, put that out there. Is it where you work, or, put that out there so they know that you can actually help in that area. And it's going to make sense for them to, give you that pay increase, and you've just up your income by that little bit, or, or whatever that case may be, right? So Now, if it's a spending problem, I mean, and we already know, in addition to whether you're negotiating a pay increase, or you're grabbing another job, or you're picking a side hustle. Who else likes side hustles? There's a lot I could talk about that, but that's gonna be another day, because yeah, I know. I believe a lot of us pick up side hustles, but we really struggle with it. We struggle to make any money with it. And not because they don't work, but the problem is usually us. Like, if we are very candid, it's usually either we are not sure of what we should be doing to make it work. That's why I said that's going to be a topic for another day, because I believe there's something I could share, about that can really help somebody. So when it comes to the other part, being a spending, you've identified that your own, financial problem, it's a spending problem. Like, you are honest enough to really sit and just reflect, and, if you want to know, just sit and really just take some, like, track how many times you go to the stores, right? Track how many times do you go shopping, especially without any plan, like you did not plan it. And I'm going to talk about budgeting here, because that's a big one. Like, it's not even in your budget. And, like, if you're even having a budget in the first place, which you absolutely should. Hello, Glorious. How are you doing today? Thanks for joining. Yeah. So if your problem is a spending problem, you have to really, acknowledge that and start doing some things about it. Because again, if it's a spending problem, you can't fix it by just making more income. You are only going to work so hard for that income and still waste it. Like, we work so hard, like, you go night shift while others are having a good night. Is really supposed, God didn't make a mistake for making nighttime be a time when everybody sleeps. Your body knows that you're supposed to be resting at that time. But for whatever reason, we find ourselves, some of us find ourselves in a situation where we have to, while others are sleeping, having that good night rest, we have to go work that night shift, because that's the situation we find ourselves. Right? You have to put your body, in that stressful situation where instead of resting, you are up. Then guess what? You work that money, like, you work that hard to earn that. Then I think that you should be a little bit more intentional how you just spend the money. Because if you do that, then you're gonna reap way more from being intentional with that spending, than just working that hard and the money goes into a different direction that you be like, like, a lot of us, how many of us feel like you're working really hard and you keep just asking yourself, like, where the heck is the money really going? Like, I don't know about you all, but have you ever filed your tax return at the end of the year? Maybe you've been working and you don't even realize how much you're really working, but by the time you file your tax return, how many of us here are in the US, or wherever you are, you file your tax return? I like to just indicate here. You file your tax return and only to realize, oh my gosh, like, you made this much money. And you're asking yourself, like, according to my tax return, I made so and so 80,000, I made 90,000, I made 100,000, I made 50,000. But you're asking yourself, like, where in the world, like, what did I do with it? Like, what you're asking yourself, where did it all go? But your tax return shows, and that's exactly what it is. You made that much. But you're looking around and be like, there is not much to show for. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you. Let's get it up to 5,000. We are so close. We are on 4.2K now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dr. Daniels, I see you. Welcome. I see you. Thank you very much for joining. Glorious here, I see you. Yeah, I think I already. Yeah, how many of you find yourself, like, have noticed that? You'll be like, according to my numbers, I worked this much for this entire year. I made this much money, but you look around, you don't really see, like, you can't really point a finger to a reasonable thing that based on that amount of money that your numbers show that you made. You can't really pinpoint a reasonable thing that you did with it in the course of that whole year. That's not good. Right? That's not good. One way to start fixing that, so that by the end of the year, the next year, you don't make that similar mistake. Just to sleep and wake up year end, you just see the numbers in your tax return, but you don't have much to show for. Then you need to start budgeting like ASAP. It means that's how you know that you have a big spending problem. Yes, that's how you know. We all know, like, if you live abroad, especially here in the United States where I live, I just have to use my example. Yeah, we know that just your housing takes quite a chunk from your housing takes quite a chunk from your income. But it comes to you really knowing your numbers. Are you budgeting like on a monthly? If you are not, go to my bio there and just click my picture here. It takes you to my bio. And grab a free budget, easy to use, mostly automated budget template that you can use on a monthly, and just helps you track your expenses and really see what is coming in, what is going out, where it's going to, so that your money, you're really having a mastery and control over your money, how it's been, allocated into the different things, that the different obligations that you have, so that you can really know, okay, if it goes here, what do I have left? What can I do with this disposable portion? Then you do something very intentionally with that. You start doing that on a monthly basis. 12 months in a year, you're going to realize you have done something big with it. But if it just comes in, and another big mistake people make, a lot of people make is, there is this concept of paying yourself first. If you've read this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, it's big. That's one big thing that book teaches. It's a financial book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And many others, they talk about this concept of paying yourself first. If you start paying yourself first, that's going to be a big first step for you to, like, where to really start to be intentional with your money, so that you're really getting that disposable portion after taking out all your expenses and really doing something intentional with it, whether you're saving it or you're, putting it into one investment or the other. But you have to get up that portion first. And for a lot of people, some people, may be asking like, yeah, when I pay for my case, when I pay out everything, pay out all my bills and whatnot, I don't have anything left over. I'm telling you, a lot of times you do. I'm not saying in all cases. Some cases, yeah, I understand that. But guess what? You're not even going to know if you're not breaking down the numbers. You're not keeping track of it. I have a free, no, that was not a free, but my financial makeover bundle has an expense tracker template that you can get. And it's only for what? For chicken change, $29. You're going to get my whole financial makeover bundle, where you're going to have the budget, the easy to use budget template there. You're going to have an expense tracker that helps you just track, because that's the problem with a lot of us. Like, we just go, okay, we spend, and we're not keeping track of how much we're spending. We don't, and it's like we receive our income and we spend and spend and spend and spend. Like, we buy everything, pay all the bills, then we are expecting to just wait. Okay, well, after doing all of that, whatever I have left is what I am going to do whatever I want to do with. No, that's backwards. That's backwards. That's not how you want to do it. Okay, that's not how the financially savvy they do it. That's not how the rich do it. They pay themselves first. What does that mean? It means when you receive that paycheck, all right, instead of going in there and paying all the vendors, like paying all these companies, like for your water bill, you are paying a vendor. For your electricity, that's another vendor you're paying. For your housing, that's another vendor you're paying, right? That's somebody else. But you worked really hard to earn that money. So you should be paying yourself first. And how do you know? You have to, be realistic about this. Like, you have to break your numbers down by doing your budgeting again. Grab the free budget template you can use on a monthly basis. You can just go download it free on my click my picture, go to my bio, you're going to see a free budget template that you can use. Because that budgeting is going to help you identify what portion is, realistic for your case. Because you can't just pay yourself first without knowing, okay, say I earn this $4,000 a month. How much do I know, like how much is my portion that I can remove realistically? That is going to be, whatever is left is going to be enough to cover all my other expenses. You have to know that number. And it's what I call, that's your disposable income. How much is your disposable income? Say you earn 4,000, 5,000. How much of it is your disposable income? That's the amount that you have to remove first. As you receive that paycheck, if you receive it bi-weekly, say you receive you make 5,000 a month, and on a bi-weekly you get paid bi-weekly, then bi-weekly on every single paycheck you should be receiving 2,500, right? 2,500. That's a bi-weekly portion. Okay, if you've done your budgeting and you know that on a bi-weekly 500 is my disposable, then when you receive that 2,500 or 2,500 on a bi-weekly, after 2 weeks, remove that your 500 portion first. And either put it, save it in your high yield savings account. Don't put it in a regular savings account where it's not earning you, where it's earning you 0.111 interest. No, you should be putting it in a high yield savings account. Maybe in the form of being there for your emergency fund, or putting it in your brokerage account for investing. And we are going to dive into all of it, how you can do, in subsequent live videos. Okay. But now you have to know that number. You have to know that, okay, I have, in the course of doing your budgeting, you have identified, you've, broken down the numbers and see that if I remove all my expenses, my bills and all of the utilities, all of that good stuff, 500 is the realistic amount that is left that I can, that is my portion, is what you need to pay yourself. Then you put it where it needs to go, right? So doing your budgeting like that enables you to know exactly what your disposable income is, so that you can intentionally invest that disposable income where it needs to go. Guess what? You're doing that on a monthly basis. 12 months down the road, you will be shocked how much you have been able to gather for yourself for working really hard. Instead of, okay, you receive that 2,500, okay, you pay here, and somebody calls you from Cameroon, from Africa. Oh, my ear is paining me. Oh, my eyes hurt. Oh, I've broken my leg, without any, send me so and so. And you start sending, and that was nowhere in your budget. You did not allocate for any of that. When you're doing your budgeting, you allocate for miscellaneous. Right? Yes. So, but if all those things just come up and out of emotion, like you just do all this emotional spending, you go to the shop now. I'm telling you, another pro tip, if you want to be intentional with your money, whenever you're going to do any shopping, go with a list. Leave your home with a list of exactly why you're going to the store, what you're going to buy. Have it written down on a list. Or if you use a device, like I love to use my notepad, write it. They have a list. You're going grocery shopping. Do you have a list? Mamas in the house, do you go, let me know, do you go grocery shopping with a list? Or do you not? Drop it in the comment section. Now, thank you. Because if you do not, you leave the house and just be like, oh, I'm going to the stores. Who else has been in that situation where, okay, in your head, without writing anything down, you'll be like, I'm going because I need these 2 items. And you go to that store and you come back with 15 items. 15 items. You did not, that's not what you went to buy. That's how, what emotional spending does. A lot of things, yeah. But if you go with that list, and you go there and you're looking at your list, you check off, you pick this item, check it off, pick this item, be like, oh, yeah, I'm done with my list, I'm going home. You work so hard with that money, you deserve to be intentional. Like, you deserve for that money to be intentionally spent. Okay? So that you can have the portion that really should be for you, to cater for your, to secure your future. So that by the time you get to the latter part of your life, where, when you don't have this much strength to work as much as you're working now, doing all this night shift, then you have something to hold you, to carry you. You have something that you had intentionally laid up, planned for it to cater for you when you no longer have the strength to hustle like this. There's a time for everything. You have that energy now. You're working all those 3, 4, 5 shifts. Like working all day. While you are doing it now, you need to be preparing, saving some to secure that future, when you will no longer have the strength to do it. That's the reason why you have to be intentional about, that spending. You have to really curb that, have control over that spending habit. You don't want to work so hard this youthful age and but like only to become a liability in the latter part of your life. You don't want to do that. Because when you do that, guess what? You become a burden to your offsprings or your kids. You only hinder their own financial growth by being that burden. You hinder their financial growth a lot. Because instead of you putting them in a place where they are a little bit ahead of the game, because you secured your financial future because you planned intentionally for it and you saved up for it, you invested so that at that time you're reaping off your investments. Instead, if you didn't plan that, sis, how do I do the budget? How do you budget? Where are you reaching me from? I'm curious, Diamond. Just drop where you're reaching me. It's right there. Just click my picture here. It's going to take you to my bio. It's going to take you to, UK. It's going to take you to my profile. And you're just going to click. My link is right there. You click my picture here. It's going to open up my profile. Below, you're just going to see my website, my web link there. Under my name, Elevate with Silvaline. Elevate your finance. You're gonna see my web link right there, and you click on it, and it's gonna open up. The very first thing at the top is gonna say download your free budget template. Okay, it's an editable file with a lot of visuals. You're gonna see the instructions are there. Like, it's very easy to use. Like, when you just download that, you download that, you have it on your computer or whatever your device, and be using it on a monthly basis to track your, to just really track your financial situation. Okay? It's a free one. That's the budget template. But if you want, if you feel like you need a whole financial makeover, I'm talking about you need something to really help you track your expenses, right? Like in detail. Or your cases, you're really dealing with some debt that you want to have a strategy to pay it off. How many of us, we're here and it's a common thing, right? So if you are in that case, don't feel like you're not alone. It's a common thing, us having a lot of consumer debt, those of us living abroad, right? Whether you be in the UK, US, or wherever. But if you're dealing with a lot of consumer debt and you want to, get intentional to really pay it off quickly, in a way that you have a strategy that you're paying it and really seeing how the balance is going down, and you're having motivative, action steps that as you're paying it down, I have something I've put together called my financial makeover bundle. You're going to have a debt repayment tracker there. Okay. That one is my 4-step, what I call my 4-step financial makeover bundle. It's also the next thing, like the second link. When you click my picture, go to my bio, it's going to be the second link below. It's only for peanuts, like $29. You're going to have, that has everything. It has the budget template, the expense tracker, the debt repayment tracker template, and the most exciting for me, which is really crucial, it has savings challenges. For those of us, those of us who are in a place where we just want to start saving so that we can really invest and really secure that financial future I'm talking about, you know that you can't invest when you have not saved any money. You need money to invest, right? But how many of us feel like we know we should be saving, but we don't do it consistently at all? Like either we are not, we save 1 month, 2 months, 3 months passes by, you haven't saved anything. If you want something to hold you accountable, to give you a strategy of saving, okay, grab that my financial makeover bundle. So you have everything. You're gonna have savings challenges template there. For example, I'll show it on my, like in my next live video. I'll bring something to display to just give you a little sneak peek of how it looks. Okay, you're gonna have savings challenges where you can say, okay, you want to save 5,000 in 6 months, 5,000 in a year, or 10,000. I have all of those. I have a few different templates like that, right? And it breaks everything. You know exactly how much you'll be saving. You should be putting aside on a daily basis to be able to make that amount by that time period. Because that's the thing, when we plan to save, we don't have no strategy. We don't have no strategy. We don't have no deadline we give to ourselves. We just be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to try to save. Then this month, you try, okay, you save a couple hundred. Next month, okay, some things come around and you just go off. You don't have no plan. You don't have no strategy. No. If you want to be very intentional, strategic about really putting all of this together, grab that financial makeover bundle. It's second link in my bio. You click my picture here, go to my bio, click that link, my web link there. It's gonna be, you're gonna see everything is very clearly stated there. It's only for $29, okay? And really start being on your way to get some financial stability, because it's about you being intentional. As I always say, it's not really about how much you make. It's about how well you are managing what you make. How well are you managing what you earn? Since I'm not able to download on my phone. Do you have a laptop? I know it opens on my phone too. But you might just need to, it's an Excel sheet. So you might need to download Excel app first on your phone. If you're doing it on your phone, just go to your Play Store and download an Excel app. And those are all free there on Play Store too. So it needs an Excel app, Microsoft Excel, for it to open up the Excel file. So just go download an Microsoft Excel on your phone. Then you go do that again. You should have no problems. But if you want a clearer view, a very clearer view, it's better. The visual is going to be a lot better when you do it on your... Oh, thank you very much. Oh, we are up to 5K likes. Thank you. Now let's put our next goal. We are going for 10K, right? Yeah, because there's always room for it. We keep going higher and higher. Yeah. So, where was I before? I was talking about spending habits, right? I was talking about spending habits pretty much. So, yeah, I'll be wrapping this up. Let me open the door here for my little boy. Is he crying? Shalom, come, darling. I need to really look my 3-year-old here. He's not been feeling very well. Mama, why is he crying? Go bring him some juice. Go bring him his juice that I kept there. Sorry, darling. It's okay. It's okay, baby. Don't worry. Don't worry, darling. Down with a little cold. It's okay. Yeah, so I'm just checking here. Yeah. See, how do I go there? Okay. I think I gave you direction how to do that. Okay, yeah, I'll be rounding this up and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. I want to try to be coming live every day. Yes. Because why not? Yeah. So, and I'll just come at different times in this couple of days. Then I'll see the time that resonates with you all out there the more. Then, yeah. Sorry, baby. So we're talking about just really, I'm on the, yeah, don't shut the door, I want the air, thank you. Yeah, we're talking about, just being intentional with our spending, right? Because for those of us here living abroad, we know that, as much as our loved ones back home may not understand, but those of us living abroad, we know that abroad here is hour for hour, right? As much as some people see, like back home, they think we have some money just falling from some trees and we're picking here. We know that that's not the case. Like, you have to put in hour for hour, right? Like, you don't go put in the hour, you got nothing, right? And so if we work that hard, we gotta be smart to make that money also work hard for us, right? We have to be smart to make it work hard for us too. And as I keep doing this live video, we're gonna share a lot of things. Today is just 101. We're just scratching the surface, like just some foundational things, right? Foundational mindset things, and we're gonna be breaking things down every day. Okay, we're gonna talk a lot about different, we're gonna keep talking about budgeting, because that is the basics. Like, that is the basic. Like, you have to be doing that to have any form of financial growth, be it whether you're rich, poor, or whatever. Like, budgeting is where it starts. Did you heat it up? Oh, okay, because it's kind of warm. You don't have to do that in the afternoon like this, because it's pretty warm. Yeah. Sorry, darling. Yeah, I'm rounding up. Do you have any questions for me, You have any questions for me? Well, I'm not sure what was my last, but I know I was just talking about spending habits, and I'm sure we got the point. It's pretty much being intentional with how we spend our money. Yeah. You don't just want to be, like, just because you are bored, you start heading out to the stores without any plan. Like, I think a lot of us, our problem is because we don't have our budgets. We don't do our budgeting. That's why we spend anyhow. Because I'm telling you, now some people think when they hear budget, they think that, budgeting means really constraining me from spending my money. No. Budgeting actually gives you a lot of power and control over your money, which you should have. Like, rightfully so. Right? Like, why should you work that hard and just want to have the money just disappear, and you wake up and be like, I worked this hard, but like this whole month, I don't know, like, there's nothing that I've really done with it. You don't want to, you don't want to have it be like that, right? You want to work that hard and be able to say, yeah, this is how I earned this much, and this is how I spent it. Like, I have done this with this, I have taken care of my bills. I have, satisfied my household for meals and stuff, and this is the portion I've been able to set aside as a savings towards my investment, or or whatever the case. But for it to just go and you just be like, yeah, I'm back to like just waiting for the next paycheck, because I'm all in the negative right now. I'm just really counting days, counting down to like, okay, how many more days before the next paycheck, because you're already in the red. You don't want to be in that place, right? And I know there are cases where you just find yourself in that place where it's just not enough, and you find yourself always being in the red. Before the next paycheck, you are always in the negative. Then that's a serious case where you should really be telling yourself, like, you need another source. Like, you seriously need another source, right? And in my next subsequent lives, we're gonna be we're gonna be talking, and I'd like to hear from you guys too. Like, if you have some things you really want me to, for us to talk more on, I want to get feedback from you guys too, so that I know that what I'm sharing is what you find you appreciate, that to be more valuable, especially to my consistent people who are gonna be joining consistently. I want to make sure that I'm, really being of value to you, right? Just as much as I possibly can, right? So, because if that is the case, like you always find yourself in that negative, yeah, I say you're listening. Twins, thanks for joining. If that's the case, then you should really be working hard on increasing that income. It means your problem is the income problem. Like hopefully you're finding yourself constantly in that negative, but you are doing your budgeting, you're staying on top of your expenses, you're intentional with your spending, and you honestly know that you've honestly come to really, your numbers show that you're not being reckless with your spending. You're actually very intentional. You're doing all the necessities with the money, but yet you're still short. You're still in the negative, right? In that case, then you've identified that is an income problem you have. And now we can talk about how can you, increase that income. All right. And there are several ways. You just got to, pick one approach. In another live video, but I don't want to bring that in here, but it's another thing that I'm big on, that I actually coach on. It's about turning your passion to profit business model. Like, you can start building something on the side. Okay, identify a passion that you have, brand it and market it. It's actually a signature model that I three-step signature, my signature three-step model that I teach in my one-on-one coaching that I call my IBM method. Okay, if you have like that's your case, you're looking to build something on the side, that a legit business that you can build off of a skill set that you already have, that you don't need to go to another school or another, this. You already have a skill set that you can monetize, but then you have to know how to do it, right? So I teach that. It's called my passion to profit. It's a course I'm actually putting together, but I'm already doing one-on-one coaching in that regard. And I teach this IBM method, to do that, right? And like in my subsequent lives, I'm going to have some of my past clients actually join me here, and we can talk a little bit, talk more about that, right? Because we are living in a time where, when you don't necessarily have to go to just see it, you have those skills, something, right? And you don't have to wait for an employer to employ you necessarily. Like, you already have an employer, you already have a job. How about using that skill set that you already have, that gifting that you already have, and build something on the side that you'll be able to monetize and have it be another stream of income, right? But there is a method to the madness, right? You have to know how to do. You need to know how to, first of all, identify what it is, right? How to put it together, how to market it. So, and my link also have, if you want to talk with me like one-on-one to really dive into this, all of that in my bio. When you click my picture here, it takes you to my bio. You see my link there. You can we can talk more about that there, but that's really not much for today. We're gonna break that down in a different video, because I need to wrap this up and go take care of my little one here. It's a little down with a cold. That's why I do what I do, so I can only do it from home, so I can prioritize this my little lollies. Because they deserve to have their mom fully present with them. That's what I believe. And I know that they will appreciate when they grow up and know that they were able to have a mom who spent quality time with them, who was always there, who was always there, and was also a hustler mom who still was able to put something together that she made sure that she can only work from home, so that when they be like, I need this, mom is there, right? Because I don't want nobody else do that, take that responsibility for me. Like, I am the mom. You are. I don't know about you, but I don't think anybody else can do that mom duty for your kids like you can, like the mom can. It just doesn't work like that. So, yeah, I just don't want my kids to know a nanny more than they know their mom. Just because I have to earn money. No, no. I don't have to sacrifice that time with them because of, no, I can have both. Yes, I can have both. And this is exactly what I have been doing since 2020. Okay. Building a digital brand that is monetized, like, that like the same time I earn from home and still and be able to be fully present for this my little ones. I had this one just March, exactly at the beginning of the pandemic of 2020, March of 2020. I had him, and that was the turning point moment for me. I was like, I don't think I have any plans to go back to work after having a baby through C-section and the pandemic is here. Like, do I have any plans going back to my accounting cubicle? I'm like, hell no. So that is how my entrepreneurial journey began. Okay. And with my same name here, Elevate with Silvaline, you can find me on Facebook. That's where I've been building since, with a lot more following than I have here. Yeah, about 10K over there. So I have been, trying to serve over there. Then recently, I used to think TikTok was a place where maybe just the Gen Zs are, but little did I know that, I really have to, we have to be here. I'm telling you, like, it just actually, I was kind of really surprised and kind of really impressed, when I first joined TikTok. I was amazed at how much educational content is on this platform, you all. So much value. Like, it just depends what kind of accounts you're following. So I've learned so much from this platform. So much, in the things that I value. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. What is the tea? What is it? twins. What are you giving me there? I see you have, like, is that a cup of tea or it's 2:30 in the afternoon now, but I appreciate the tea you're giving there. For me, I'll drink that in the evening or early morning. Yeah, so just to recap, today we were talking on Personal Finance 101, and we were identifying money problems, right? One being, it's either an income problem. You may have an income problem, or you have a spending problem. Better please go over there. You don't need to be here. Thank you. Yeah, we said it's important that you identify what the issue with your finances is. Is it an income problem you have, or a spending problem? Then, based on you doing your budgeting on a single, every single month, on a monthly basis, right? To know where, how your numbers look. And, who was that? Sorry, who was asking me, like, okay, she was saying if you download my free budget template there and you have it's so straightforward. But if you have any issue how to use it, I have videos pinned. I actually have a pinned video on my profile that, that explains how to use it. But it's like straightforward. Like, it's editable, customizable. Like, you can put things as they apply to your case, and just have one column there that you focus on changing your own numbers and putting there, and by the end of it, you're gonna see your visual chart to see how your numbers look, right? Because every time you earn an income, you should break it down into different buckets and every bucket needs to have something, right? I don't know if you've heard about the 50 30 20 rule, or even the 50 is it the, yeah, like the 75 15 10 rule, meaning, like, say for example, if 75% of your income is going to your needs and 15% is going to your wants, then 10%, the remaining 10% should be going to your investments. So all those different buckets should have something. You don't want a case where your income fills two buckets. It fills your needs and your wants and nothing is being saved or invested. It means you're not having any portion for you, because that portion that is saved and invested is really what is going for, going to you for your, for putting in all that work, right? Yeah. So I was wondering if anybody has any question. If not, we'll call it a day. And thank you so much for the love. Yeah, we are at 5.3k likes, so I appreciate that. We're gonna keep upping up the game with that. Yeah, if nobody has anything, then I will say thank you for watching. I will see you all tomorrow again. I'm not sure what time, but it's either around afternoon like this, or I might switch up and just do the evening and see if we'll have some more viewers during the evenings. It says invite Angelina. Oh no, not necessarily right now because I'm done. So thank you so much for watching. I don't see any questions coming in. You have any questions for me? If not, I will say we've come to the end of the live today. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the love. Hopefully you picked, hopefully this was valuable to you, because that's really what I intended to be. So, and we are gonna make rendezvous for tomorrow. Okay, make sure you're connected to my page. If you've not hit the follow, you want to follow, and make sure you turn that notification to all, so that you don't miss any of my alerts when I come live or when I post something. Okay, because we have to keep elevating our financial game. Until next time, stay blessed now. Ciao. I'll see you tomorrow. Silvaline here. Bye now.